At some point, everybody asks themselves, how is it that the rich keep getting richer and the poor keep getting poorer? Yo, YouTube will give you some insecurities that you have never thought you had before. Like, I keep seeing the spot on my forehead. It's like, what is that? And then I realize it's this scar that I got from when I was a kid. I still look good though. You know what I'm saying? Right, Mom? Make sure to smash that like button for the YouTube algorithm. Do it. What's up, YouTube? This is Ludwig, and I'm here to talk about something very important that I learned about during my debt-free journey. If you didn't know, my name is Ludwig. I successfully paid off $238,000 worth of personal debt, including student loans, credit cards, and car debt. I'm now debt-free. I feel financially free, and I want to become a financially independent, debt-free millionaire. And that's my lifetime goal. And I want to take everybody on this journey with me to becoming financially free. If you care to find out more about that, smash the like button, follow me, and I swear I'm going to teach you guys everything that I learned so that we all can become financially free. Now, today I want to talk about something that I think is very important. It's assets and liabilities. Now, I think one of the questions that we ask ourselves often is, how is it that the rich keep getting richer and the poor keep getting poorer? I mean, as of right now, there has never been a larger gap between the wealthy and the poor. I mean, wasn't it just not that long ago that Jeff Bezos was named to have $190 billion net worth? Dude, that is insane. Now, it's really tough to say that there is really a single thing that really makes someone super wealthy or another person very poor. There isn't. There's lots of factors, and I'm not going to go over all of that today, but the thing I am going to talk about is the concept of an asset and a liability. Now, what is an asset? An asset, in its simplest terms, is something that I own that makes me money. Now, these aren't the assets that you usually hear about, like Kim Kardashian's cheeks. No, assets are something that you own that put money into your pocket. For instance, something like a rental home. So let's say today I buy a condo for $150,000. That condo is still going to be worth $150,000 and likely more over time. Not only that, if I rent out that condo, I can have tenants who will pay me rent, and that rent is going to be money that goes into my pocket. So let's say that's something like $1,400 a month. So I have this house that's worth $150,000 now. It's going to be worth more later, and I can collect rent from it every single month. That's an asset, something that makes me more money than it costs me. Now, what's a liability? A liability is doing something like not smashing the like button for the YouTube algorithm. But jokes aside, a liability is something that costs you money. Let's say I buy a brand new car. Let's say that car is worth $25,000, like a brand new Toyota Camry. Now that Toyota Camry is going to lose value over time. So it might be worth $25,000 now or brand new, but next year it's going to be worth 20. The next year after that, it's going to be worth 17. And that price is going to continue to drop and drop. Not only that, I have to pay maintenance, I have to pay for gas, I have to pay for insurance. So overall, owning this thing costs me money, and that is a traditional liability. How is it that the rich keep getting richer and the poor keep getting poorer? Wealthy people have assets. So most entrepreneurs, they'll start off building a business. That business usually doesn't do well. They'll put in a lot of their own money, and hopefully a small percentage of those people will make it big. Their company will be successful, they'll make money, and then they'll make more money back than they had put in originally. And that is an asset. And wealthy people tend to have assets like a business, like rental property, like stocks. Stocks will appreciate over time, and that puts money back into your pocket. They have things that will be worth more later and or put money into their pocket, things that will increase their net worth over time. And we have to think about owning that ourselves. We don't have to be an entrepreneur. I don't have to be Jeff Bezos or Bill Gates and come up with this world-changing idea that'll create a giant company that'll make me hundreds of millions of dollars. We don't have to do that. We can have assets ourselves as everyday people that can give us peace of mind at the end of the day. We don't have to worry about just having a job. We don't have to worry about losing that job every night. And I know that's something that bothers me a lot is, what if this job wasn't here? What would I do? And I don't like having that feeling. So I want to have assets. And I want everybody else to think about that too. Think about having an asset, something that is going to make you money aside from your job, that's going to give you some peace of mind. Now, we've gone over a few assets already, but I'm going to go over a list with you. Now, a business is something that I have a terrible time minding. All jokes aside, a business is something that sells a service or some kind of a product. So let's talk about this YouTube channel. Now, this YouTube channel is a service. So what I do on this YouTube channel is I try to share my knowledge and my experience with you guys, so hopefully that you get a benefit out of it. So one of the most important assets is to smash the like button, subscribe, and follow my channel, because it's entirely free and I can give you a ton of knowledge. It's gonna make you a lot of money back. Now, aside from that, let's think of a business like Amazon. So Jeff Bezos started Amazon out of his garage. He didn't have the billions of dollars that he has now. He probably just had a few $1,000s. He had an idea and he put it to work. He built a website. He had a few $1,000s worth of inventory, and slowly over time, he bought more. He put that money back into his business, and over time, the money that he potentially could take home grew and grew over time. But he kept taking that money and investing it back into the business, and his asset grew and grew. And now it's the multi-billion-dollar enterprise that it is. Now, business tends to be the primary asset that most very wealthy people that we know about have. Businesses have the huge potential to pay us out a lot of money, but it's very risky. The vast majority of businesses fail, and the vast majority of businesses don't make any money for the first few years. In fact, they tend to cost you a lot of money in the first few years. Now, the next asset class I'm going to talk about is real estate. Now, real estate could be anything from a single family home that you, your mom and your dad lived in, or it could be a duplex, or it could be a triplex, it could be a condo, it could be an apartment, it could be an apartment complex. Real estate, you own a living space that you can rent out to someone else and collect rent on. Now, real estate is an asset that a lot of wealthy people have. It won't make you the same kind of money that a good business is going to make you, but it can make you consistent money over time. So if someone were to buy a single family home, let's say they bought it for $200,000, they can collect, let's say, $1,800 of rent every month. That house is going to be worth more over time, because houses tend to appreciate in time, meaning that I can buy the house now for $200,000, but next year that house might be worth $210,000, or the next year after that it might be worth $225,000. So that is another type of asset, an asset that puts money into your pocket. Now, the next asset class that I'm going to talk about are stocks. Now, stocks are something that most people are pretty familiar with. Let's say I buy some Apple stock today. The Apple stock is worth $150. Hopefully in the next 5 to 10 years, that value of that stock is going to increase, and I'll be able to sell that stock and make a profit. Now, the great thing about stocks is that it's very low maintenance. I don't have to take care of it the way that I need to do a business or even real estate. I can just buy it. It sits there. I let it appreciate in value. Some stocks even pay you a small percentage of cash back, called a dividend. And it just exists. I don't have to do anything with it. It's low maintenance. I don't have to put in a ton of work in, like with a business, or put in consistent work in with the real estate. I can turn it back into cash very quickly. If I decide today I want to get rid of all of my Apple stock, I can just hop on my computer and sell it and get that cash back. Stock is a very accessible asset that I think everybody should have. Now, I wouldn't recommend that anybody invest in single stocks, and what I mean by that is like buying a single share of Apple or a single share of Tesla, because it's very difficult to know when the value of a stock is going to go up or when the value is going to go down. So trying to figure out that I'm going to buy a stock worth this much now and then sell it for more later is quite difficult, because stocks value go up and down every single day. So it's hard to know when the value is going to go up and how high it's going to go. So trying to time the market, or trying to take the money or take your stock out or sell it at the perfect time is extremely difficult. So it's better to buy a large fund of stocks, like a mutual fund or an index fund that has hundreds or maybe thousands of stocks that it's invested into, that is not going to change as radically over time and will consistently over a period of 5 to 10 years or more be worth more money than when you bought it. And so everyone should be invested into stocks. Everyone should be invested into their employer's 401k if they offer that, because it's a great way, a great safe and low maintenance way to invest your money so that potentially in your retirement you'll have enough money. Because be real here, I don't really plan on working for anybody at 75. And frankly, I'm probably going to be agitated, mean, I'm probably not going to have any filter, and I'm going to let a lot of stuff fly out of my mouth. So no one really wants me working for them by that time. So hopefully I've invested enough so that I won't have to work and no one's going to have to deal with my crap. Now, another asset class is very new and guys are really excited about is called digital currency, or what you've probably heard of is something called Bitcoin and other digital currency like it. The benefits of something like a Bitcoin is that it has the potential to increase in value very quickly. The issue or the drawback that also comes with that is that the value of Bitcoin tends to be extremely erratic. To be looking at your app and scrolling through and seeing your value of your Bitcoin dramatically falling and rising and falling, that might not be for a lot of people. I know for me, that would give me a lot of anxiety, and I don't think I'll be investing in Bitcoin. Maybe I will in the future, who knows, but at this moment, I don't. Now, the advantage of something like Bitcoin, like stocks, is that it's easily convertible back into cash very quickly, and that also makes it an attractive option as an asset. Now, another asset class is something called intellectual property. So intellectual property, in a way that most people are going to understand, is an artist's music. So let's say Lil Wayne drops an album today. He owns the intellectual property of the album, which means that if someone wants to play his music, they have to pay him. If someone wants to have their music available on their platform, like a Spotify or an iTunes or a Google Play Music, they have to pay him a percentage of the sales that they make from playing their music. That's intellectual property. Intellectual property is something like this YouTube video. I created this YouTube video. I put in this information. I put in the time to edit it and make it look good and funny and whatever. And YouTube plays it. YouTube uses my intellectual property, this video, to attract advertisers. The advertisers pay to show their commercials during my video, and I take a percentage of that pay that YouTube gets. So this is another thing that a lot of people can invest into. You can either create your own intellectual property, like I tell most people to create their own YouTube channel, or you can make a different kind of intellectual property like music or a course that you teach online that you can post on a website that people will pay for, and you'll get a percentage of the sales of that. There's lots of different kinds of intellectual property, and it's a great investment because they tend to cost very little and they have the potential to make you a very good return over time. Now, if you enjoyed that video, smash the like button, subscribe, and again, my channel is free. It's a great asset. It's going to teach you some information. Hopefully you take that information and put it into action into your own life so that you feel more financially free, so that you worry less about money, about debt, about bills, and you feel more free and secure in life. And that's what I'm chasing. I'm trying to chase security and freedom in my life, and that's why I'm trying to learn and share as much as I can about personal finance and wealth. Peace.